before we move forward, I definitely want to take out time just to acknowledge Baba because he was, so I knew you through the internet, man. That's how, I'm in the UK and most of my, my game is coming from the States by way of the internet. Or post being, the video DVD kid, getting the shit sent in. And that's how I got privy to, what was going on in the States and yourself and the whole, Harlem movement, and, 125th and, a whole world that actually inspired me to get over to the States and connect with brothers and sisters over there. And in return, get them over to the UK over the years. And he was one of those who actually came to the shores of the UK. And that was by way of, Baba just plug in, just he's like, what you're doing is what the brother's doing. Make sure, get the connections going. So I just want you to share one, just your connection with Baba, how that happened. And, you can connect it to your time here in the UK. And because not many people from your side of the water have traveled to the UK, I spent many years having to remind people that, yeah, we are here, there's melanated people here in the UK, in a saying, and like we do what we do, how we do it, and there's definitely overlap between the States and the Caribbean and stuff like that. So I would like for you to also share just some of your experiences in the UK, what you witnessed, so some of your family plug it in, can let you, get some insight.
Definitely. As I spoke earlier, I was blessed enough to be sought out by Baba. He sought me out. He found me, and he invited me to his entheogenic conference, not just to come to see it and check it out, but he actually gave me a spot to speak. I was like, that took me a while to like take in, you know what I mean? And that he even knew who I was, let alone like my work. So he invited me in, and I came to the first conference, and it was amazing. That was the one where all the sisters was there speaking on, just like how we were talking about earlier, the importance of psilocybin, with pregnancy, with children at a young age, and also just how it helps with trauma, depression, and things of that nature. So that it was very profound. Then he said that, okay, we do this every 2 years, but then on the alternate years, we deal with the break-in convention over in the UK, and I want you to come to that too. And I was like, whoa, it's like my first invitation to come to London, UK. It's like, I'd never been over there before. So I took him up on the offer. Unfortunately, I had a couple issues that made me get out there late. So I wasn't even able to get to the break-in convention to speak there, but I had were able to arrange some other platforms for me to be able to speak at when I was out there. So one of the things that I noticed when I got out there was how much it reminded me of New York. Like, I was like, this ain't nothing but New York all over again. And this is why I'm like, you gotta look that Tartary thing up, because you're gonna find out that when we go to different areas of this world, we're gonna find the same architecture. We're gonna find the same mixture of people. Now, I wasn't too surprised to see so many brothers and sisters out there. I mean, it still was a shock, because when you experience a thing, it's different than, when you have an idea of a thing. So I already had an idea in my mind that there were, my people was out there, because I understand, how the slave trade really went. I understand that, when we deal with the Moors and everything, it was really us fighting us. It was us as Brits, it was us as the revolutionaries, and it was us as indigenous people. We were part parcel of all those fights and battles. We like creating this kind of color divide, which I can understand why, based on how we were raised and what we were taught. But really, if you stop paying attention to history and you just look at your own household and your own community and your own neighborhood, you'll find how your family acts towards each other. You'll find how your extended family acts with each other. You can start to see how petty we could be, how many arguments we could have, how people can die and get killed, and all types of stuff can happen just based upon the issues we have with each other without any other impetus coming in the middle of it. So I can definitely understand how our current state has a lot to do with karma, and not so much some supernatural power that another group of people have. Because we give another group of people a lot of power, bro. We'd be like, man, they did everything. If it wasn't for them, I'd be a billionaire. Like, stop it. But I just noticed how clean certain areas was, the architecture. You know, we got to go to the museum and seeing past, our history, the food, and just the charisma and the character of the people. Is like everybody's reserved, but then there's also a lit side too. So it's like it's real interesting. Like etiquette is a thing over there. Like everybody has etiquette, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain level of respect and etiquette that I noticed everybody having over there. I noticed the financial thing. Like people really pay attention to their dollar. There's no by and large and waste in the UK. Like, no, so I don't care if you sitting on millions, you treating the millions like you got $5 in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, we ain't definitely the tipping culture. We're not the tipping culture.
That's what I'm saying. You go to New York, people, you know, splurge. You know what I mean? You come to America, pretty much anywhere, folks is just, you know what I mean? They just letting it ride. But in the UK, it's like, I don't care if I got 50 racks in the bank, bro. I don't got nothing in the bank as far as you need to know. You know what I'm saying? And just two different cultures, but a lot of similarities at the same time. And I could clearly see the influence. Like I get why it's called New York. You know what I'm saying?
But the old York.
The old York, right? That's what I'm saying. You know, you got New Jerusalem or New Jersey. You know what I mean? Old Jerusalem is over there. So
that's right.
There's a lot of similarities. I didn't get to make it out to the Stonehenge. You know, Ireland was really calling me for some reason while I was there. You know what I mean? And I come to find out that that's where the Devil's Causeway is in North Ireland. So I'm like, yeah, no wonder. I'm like, I got to go see that ancient tree. You know what I mean? I need to get to the Devil's Causeway, man. But it was so surreal. It wasn't what I expected. I could tell you that. Very different than what I expected. The tube was dope, you know what I mean? It reminded me of MTA, you know. So I was like, y'all got a whole intricate setup down here. It's like really a sister city or brother city to New York. The buildings, the infrastructure, there's no way that stuff was just built recently. Like those buildings is millennia old, bro. Like that stuff, it just stands the test of time, you know. But I owe all of this experience and these revelations and everything, you know, my wife and I, to Baba. You know, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't been able to have that experience. And if it wasn't for you, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't have been able to meet Queen Lorna and that whole experience that I had with her over there. That was the first time I ever had DMT. You know,
can you speak on that?
Oh yes, the DMT experience was amazing. So another thing that's in our history that we kind of sweep under the rug is that there's been a history of giants that walked the earth. Like there's so much stuff that points to it. Even excavation shows the bones, but you know, we just look at football and basketball and see these freakishly huge athletes and think it's just because they drunk milk and they throw a ball around. It don't got nothing to do with no genes being passed. But I think some of the biggest athletes are really the smallest representations of some of the people that lived that one. You know, I remember when I came up in wrestling, it was Andre the Giant. Like that's what they called him. He was big, you know, he was a wrestler. He was huge.
Yeah.
But there were giants everywhere. So on my experience, the first thing I did was looked at my hands, and my hands were huge. They were huge. They were as thick. They were as thick as a Black Law dictionary. You know the Black Law dictionary books, right? Yeah. They was as thick as a black and as big as my hands was this big. They was huge and long. So after some time, I kind of came to, I was like, wow, there might be giants in my lineage. And I was just kind of seeing my true form, you know?
Right.
I remember looking at my hands and I was able to pierce through the veil of my hands where my hands turned into layers of skin. And then I could see my capillaries and then I could see the blood flowing. So it was all these rivers. It was a river like on this level, then on that level, and it just kept going and going and going. Like I was looking at thousands of rivers carrying blood and nutrients in my hands. And then I went in. And when I went in, it was interesting because what I saw was a network of tubes, a network of striped tubes, and I heard pressure, kind of like when you have a blown balloon, a balloon that's filled with air, and that stretch sound,
Yeah.
that the rubber makes.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was hearing, you know, large amount of light and this kind of eagle phoenix type archetype. You know, I can't even say it was entity or what it was, but I was able to see like right at the center, kind of like just kind of flying towards me and like hitting me. I had a dynamic experience. I think I took 2 trips. They're very quick, you know, they're between 3 and 8 minutes, depending upon, you know, because everybody's different. But my queen and I took it. She had her experience too. And I've never been in a situation where you go on a trip instantaneously. So that was what made it a different thing than the mushrooms, because the mushrooms, you know, it's about an hour, you know, to prepare. Just like, you know, you get in a rocket, you got to prepare, they got to count down, blast off, you got to get out to space, right? So that's shrooms, but DMT is like a portal. Like you like you hit that thing once, hit it twice, and by the number 3, you ain't here no more. And I was just like, first I had to kind of like, oh, wait a minute. And then I was just like, that whole part of consciousness where I'm like, wait a minute, that just kind of just dissipated. And then I was just in it. And then I was just experiencing it. And it's amazing. It's a whole world that exists all around us all the time that we literally ignore. It's an elephant in the room that we don't pay attention to. And you got questions, you want answers. That's the mechanism. That's the mechanism.
Nice, bro. So yeah, man, you got your first dose here in the UK. You know what I'm saying? Like just, you know, spreading.
Thanks to you.
No, thank you for sharing, man.